I farm organically and have done so for the last almost 20 years, so I'd be aware of the fact that water quality can be affected very much by farming practices. It's something we're constantly watching for in the area, and to try and make sure people don't put out slurry near where there's streams and things like that. And unfortunately it does happen, but we have been fortunate since the scheme was taken over and initiated and the 4 schemes came together to form Corracreigh Co-op that our water quality is very good and has consistently been very good. While the protection of the water source is 100% of the scheme, like there's no shortcuts with that. Like that is the scheme, that is the water. If you cannot protect the source, and if you haven't a good source, and if you have a good source, it's vitally important to protect it. And it's very simply that you can end up putting the source being in serious trouble. You know, one careless action by a farmer can have serious repercussions for a huge community. I suppose the biggest issue for the scheme is to make sure that the farmers are aware that they can pollute our source very simply. And our catchment area is vast. The water travels to our source from 4, 5 and 6 miles away. So to try to educate the wider public, people maybe that aren't getting the water from our source themselves, they may be doing things that can damage our source. So it's something that we're constantly trying to keep people informed in as nice a way as we can. And I suppose going forward is something we're going to have to keep at. Well, I'd say slurry is probably the biggest issue, in that when the season changes for the slurry and when you're allowed to put out slurry legally, some people are in a situation at that stage when they have no other option but to put it out. And land can be waterlogged, particularly say in February, and around here in particular, like February can be a very wet month. And if you're trying to get out slurry and you maybe have no other option, but even when you have limited options and if land is wet, people need to be aware that you go as far away from the streams as you can, and you try and make sure that you do it in a day that maybe there isn't going to be a heavy fall of rain, or maybe just wait the day or two, or maybe just put out the load or two to get you going, and then wait for a final day.